Hey there, deep divers. Ready to really dive deep into Meta's absolutely massive week?
Yes, it was that.
They have had everyone talking this week, haven't they?
Yeah, it's crazy.
New VR headsets, all this AI stuff, the
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
But we're going way beyond just the headlines today, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to connect all the dots for you using 3 totally different sources.
Yeah.
So we've got a deep dive interview on Stratechery with Ben Thompson,
Love Stratechery.
right? And we've got some actually really surprising gaming news from IGN.
Okay.
And even some whispers from the Dow Jones about this whole AI gold rush that seems to be happening.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
Our mission, if we choose to accept it,
Okay.
is to figure out why any of this stuff even matters to you as the listener. Even if you think that the metaverse is something that people just talk about in cafes.
Which a lot of people do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But really what I find fascinating is how interconnected all of these stories actually are.
Oh, yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, Meta's not just putting out the latest gadget.
Right.
They're building this whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
And they're making some big bets on this, 2 big bets on the metaverse and artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Okay, so let's unpack that metaverse thing a little bit first for people who maybe haven't been following along as closely.
Yeah.
So basically we're talking about blurring the lines between the physical world and the digital world.
Okay.
Creating these immersive experiences that go way beyond just staring at a screen.
Right.
So think less, endlessly scrolling through social media.
Yeah.
And more like stepping into a virtual world where you can work, you can play, you can connect with people.
Right, actually being in the digital world instead of just viewing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and where Meta is really shaking things up here is with these new AR glasses called Orion.
Yeah.
And these aren't clunky headsets or anything like that.
Right.
These are being talked about as a potential replacement for your smartphone.
Wow.
And this is what I thought was so compelling about that Stratechery interview with Ben Thompson.
Yeah.
He spoke with Andrew Bosworth. He's the CTO over at Meta.
Right.
And he was actually initially incredibly skeptical of this whole metaverse concept.
Really?
He was not on board.
Interesting.
But then he saw Orion.
Okay.
And it totally changed his perspective.
Wow. So what was it about Orion that was so compelling to him?
Well, it's like he went from thinking, man, another gadget,
Right.
to full-on eureka moment.
I see.
And we're talking 10 years of work here.
Yeah.
$75 billion invested in this.
Wow. You don't drop that kind of money unless you're really onto something big.
No, you don't. And that's got to be a huge gamble for them.
Yeah. What did Thompson say about all that?
I mean, he was really struck by, this idea that what they're describing is this world where your glasses anticipate your needs,
Okay.
where your entire day becomes searchable.
Wow.
It's not just about convenience. It's really about changing how we interact with information and the world around us.
Right. It's next level.
Efficiency.
Yeah. So no more digging for your phone in your bag or trying to remember where you parked your car or whatever.
Right.
Sign me up.
Sign me up too. Right. So, but how does this actually all work?
Yeah.
What makes Orion so different from every other AR thing we've seen before?
So one of the biggest challenges with these AR glasses has always been the display technology, right?
Right.
They need to be lightweight, they need to be comfortable while still delivering these really crisp and clear visuals that blend seamlessly with what you're actually seeing in the real world.
Right. It can't be distracting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And from what Thompson was saying, it sounds like Meta has really made some big breakthroughs in this area.
So the technology itself sounds really impressive, but what can you actually do with these glasses?
Okay, so picture this. You're walking down the street and your glasses recognize a restaurant that you've been wanting to try. You can pull up the menu right there. You can see photos. You could even book a reservation all without ever taking your phone out of your pocket.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That's pretty slick.
Yeah.
But I mean, is this all just speculation?
Nah.
When are we actually going to see this technology in action?
So here's the thing. Orion's not available to the public yet.
Okay.
Meta is keeping it under wraps for now,
Okay.
really focusing on getting that technology just right.
Right.
But the fact that they're even talking about it this openly suggests that they're pretty confident about their progress.
It's like they're teasing us.
A little bit.
Like building all this anticipation for the day that we can all just toss our smartphones in the drawer and embrace the AR revolution.
Exactly. And this is where Meta's strategy is so much bigger than just building a cool gadget.
Okay.
They get it. They understand that for this whole metaverse thing to really work,
Yeah.
they need an entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
They need developers on
To
board.
build the apps and stuff.
Yeah, to create the apps, the games, all those experiences that are going to make people actually want to spend time in this new digital world.
And that brings us to our next fascinating piece of this whole puzzle.
Okay, let's hear it.
The gaming world.
All right.
So remember when Ubisoft,
Yeah,
the company behind Assassin's Creed,
of course, yeah.
they stopped releasing their games on Steam a while back.
Right.
Well, they're back.
Oh, wow.
And that is a huge deal for Meta and their vision for what they're trying to build here.
Really, how so? It really is. I mean, it's such a smart move by Meta. It's all about strategy, right?
Right.
Because you see, by encouraging developers like Ubisoft to put their games out on all these different platforms,
Yeah.
including VR, they're kind of hedging their bets.
Okay.
They're not like forcing anybody's, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they're definitely guiding the entire industry towards their ecosystem in a very subtle but powerful way.
It's like they're playing chess and everyone else is playing checkers or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're thinking 5 steps ahead.
So it's not about, forcing everyone to be exclusive to the meta world or whatever.
No.
It's more about making it so appealing that everybody wants to be a part of it.
Precisely. And it reminds me a lot of like the early days of smartphones. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When app stores were just starting to become a thing and like every developer and their mother wanted in on the action.
Right. Everyone wanted a piece of that pie.
Exactly. And they were all just flocking to whichever platform had the most users.
Right.
And that's exactly what Meta is setting themselves up to do here with their whole VR AR platform.
It's like you're building a city, right?
Uh-huh.
You need to have the right infrastructure to attract those residents and the businesses.
Absolutely.
You don't want to create this like ghost town that nobody wants to visit.
No one wants to be in a ghost town. It's all about creating that critical mass, that buzz.
Exactly. And the gaming community is huge.
Massive.
Millions of passionate players.
Yeah.
And that represents a really big potential user base for Meta.
Huge. Yeah.
So bringing Ubisoft back into the fold is basically sending this really clear message to all the other developers out there saying, hey, we're serious about this metaverse thing.
Yeah.
We're playing the long game here.
Yeah.
Join us. Let's build something incredible together.
I love it. And you know what? The financial world is definitely taking notice of all this.
Really?
Yeah. So remember that Dow Jones article you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
The one about Micron?
Oh, right. The chip maker.
Exactly. They're seeing massive gains right now
Because
of AI boom.
okay, so we've got the metaverse, we've got gaming,
Yep.
and now we're talking about AI and microchips.
It's all
And
connecting.
it's like we're connecting threads across this entire like tech landscape or something.
That's the beauty of it, right? It's all one big interconnected ecosystem.
It's why.
And what's really fascinating is that the article specifically calls out that a lot of these Micron chips,
Yeah.
they're ending up in the hardware that powers all these wild VR and AR experiences that we're talking about.
So it's like this chain reaction happening.
Total.
Meta invests in the metaverse that drives the demand for all this more powerful hardware,
Yeah.
which then benefits companies like Micron that are providing the building blocks,
Yeah.
the ripple effect.
Exactly. And what about those AI announcements?
Oh, yeah, those are huge.
I mean, they're not just using AI to like make their existing products a little bit better, right?
No. They're trying to position themselves like right at the forefront of this whole technological revolution that's happening.
So we're talking about like AI-powered assistants that understand our needs before we even ask for them.
Personalized learning experiences that like adapt to our learning style.
Right.
Maybe even advancements in healthcare that can help diagnose diseases earlier.
Absolutely. The potential applications of this stuff are practically limitless.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. And the fact that Meta is pouring so much money into this space
Yeah.
tells you that they're playing for keeps here.
Yeah, they're not just trying to build a better VR headset, right?
No, they want to shape the future.
They want to change the world.
They want to change how we live, how we work, how we interact with the entire world around us.
It really is kind of mind-blowing when you actually stop and think about like all the potential ripple effects here.
Totally.
We're not just talking about like, faster phones or fancier graphics in our games, are we? We're talking about like a fundamental shift in how we experience the entire world around us.
I know. And like you even brought up that whole thing with the PlayStation 5 Pro bundle,
Yeah.
that limited edition one that sold out like instantly.
Yeah.
And people are like reselling it for crazy money online now.
It's insane.
It just goes to show you like how complex this whole thing is.
Right.
Like everybody wants to be on the cutting edge,
Right.
but the technology isn't quite there yet to meet the demand.
Right.
And then you've got people trying to like cash in on the hype, and that just drives the prices up even more for everybody.
Totally. It's a mess.
It really highlights this tough spot that companies like Meta are in.
Yeah.
They've got to create this sense of like exclusivity and excitement around these new products.
Yeah. You got to have the hype.
Right. But you also want to make sure that it's actually accessible to like normal people,
Right.
not just the wealthy early adopters.
You don't want to leave people behind.
Exactly. It's a tough balance to strike.
It really is.
And, you know, it's not just about the economics of it all either.
Okay.
There are some pretty big ethical questions here, too.
Right.
I mean, we're talking about like data privacy, security, the potential for misuse.
Right. All that stuff becomes even more important.
Because as this technology gets more powerful,
Uh,
we have to be really careful about how it's used.
it's like the Wild West out there.
A little bit, yeah.
Like everyone's so eager to just like dive head first into this new frontier.
Right.
But we got to make sure that we're not doing it blindly.
We need to be aware of the risks, and we need to be having these conversations.
Exactly.
This isn't just about Meta, it's about the future that we're all building together here.
Right.
The line between the physical and digital is getting blurrier every single day.
It really is.
And ultimately, it's up to all of us to make sure that this new reality is something that benefits everyone.
Okay, so like what does this all actually mean for you, the listener?
Yeah,
That's the question we want to leave you with today.
it's a big one.
Are we like on the verge of this technological utopia where we're all totally connected and empowered by AI?
Right. Or are we headed down this path of like unintended consequences?
Right.
Where the very things that were supposed to make our lives better end up kind of backfiring on us?
Yeah, good question.
It is a good question. And I don't think there's an easy answer.
Right.
But one thing's for sure, this is a conversation that we all need to be a part of. The future is unwritten.
The future is unwritten.
Let's make it a good one.
Let's make it a good one, everybody.